of Antenna Heads, the best hour of TV podcasting around. I am Brian Cassis, joined by Alex Arujo.
Hello, Brian. It's a wonderful day. You have a wonderful sweater on with a wonderful button down under it.
Thank you.
You look great. Our other co-host looks great.
Co-host. He said it, not me.
We're all co-hosts of the show. We are all at the same level. Chris is here.
And Cristina Araujo.
Yeah, Kitty looked at me when you said my name. She just looked at me like, what?
She doesn't know who she is, but she knows who you are.
Yeah, she
Kitty,
knows
of course,
who she
the
is.
filial mascot of Antenna Heads. Chris?
If you need a plate of cookies to be knocked over, no one does it better.
Or anything you care about knocked over.
Pretty much. If you need anything in Al's room
Obviously,
knocked over.
I don't care about Brian because she's never knocked him over.
She probably could, though. He's very thin.
Not
Very
as
thin
much
man.
as it used to be.
You and those free donuts, man.
Killing me.
I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, God, Brian must be running a hell of a lot if he's eating all those damn donuts.
No, I haven't run at all. That's the problem. So, but ice is melted. I'm back out already.
It has. It was a lovely, 40-something today.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
It was almost tolerable.
I'm going to go running tomorrow night. On Thursday.
That hour that they stole from us.
Yeah.
Really.
They, the federal government.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Those bastards.
Really helped make everything sunny. So, got out of work, the sun was shining, we're like, what the hell's going on?
I usually ask you guys how your week was, but I think I had the most interesting week of all of us. You see, I had jury duty this week. This is what I want to talk about right now.
And then you got violently ill.
Oh my
Wow.
God, it was the weirdest. Thursday was ridiculous because
Oh, the weather too.
it was snowing pretty badly that day, and that was my second day of jury duty. I'm not reading this because I know it sounds like I am, but I'm just like, I had a sip and the lemon water went to my throat.
There's lemon water?
There was. So I had to go in for a second
You can't
day
hear my tears, but
on
they're
Thursday, real close to your face, and they can hear it.
there.
Drip, drop, drip, drippity, drop. Those are Chris's tears. I had to go in, super snowy, took really long to get there.
What courthouse?
The one in Kew Gardens.
Oh, it's not too bad.
It's not bad because you can take the train, and it's a lot better than taking the bus, especially in the snow.
Yes.
But I get there, I was told to get there at 10 because I was already assigned to a courtroom, and they just had to ask us, the questions about whether or
Sure.
not you want to be a juror or whatever. So I get there at 10.
You want to be a juror? Nah.
No.
Go to here. So I get there at 10, and we're all standing around waiting, and then the guy who pulls the cards out and calls people comes down. And he's like, "Okay, well, you're all being dismissed." So in my head, I'm like, "You fucking bastard! You couldn't have just called us and said this."
Why would they call you?
Because that way we wouldn't have to come in with all the snow. So
I thought that they were going to call
after
him.
Yeah.
half an hour,
Yeah, 'cause
First of all,
they're there to cater to you, Al.
They make
know?
you call them to see if you have to go in. Why would they call you?
maybe they're nice. So
Yeah.
after half an hour, they're like, "Hey, here's your certificate. You can go." So another hour and a half going back. So on the way home, I'm like, let me stop at Blue Cheesecake and get something because
You
I
did.
feel like I've accomplished something and I haven't had a cannoli in a while. So get a couple of cannolis, get some other stuff. Coming home, as soon as I get home, of course, I have to shovel. So I do some shoveling, which is really interesting, by the way.
It's the first shovel of the season.
Pretty much, actually. Salt and everything. A nice, classy job. Sweeping, all that stuff. When I get inside, I'm super dizzy. So I lay down, not feeling good at all. Chris comes home. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't feel too good." And she's like, "Maybe you're just tired." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I am."
Well, because he hadn't been sleeping, huh?
yeah.
Because you'd been waking up early to go. You'd been staying up fairly late, and
Yeah,
then you'd been
editing,
waking up early
Editing these wonderful podcasts.
to go to jury duty. So I thought maybe it was just your lack of sleep, and then you never eat.
I
If
eat
you
all
have
the
to-
time.
if-
You-
no,
I just stopped
no,
at a
no, no.
bakery. Aren't you listening?
Yeah, but you didn't eat any
You
of
didn't
it.
anything. Not mentioned at all.
You didn't eat any of it.
I had the cannoli. And I had the
You had the cannoli
cupcake
way
too.
after.
Well, yeah, because I was sick immediately
No,
after.
but that's what I mean. So, you went to the bakery, but you didn't eat any of the things. So don't act
Chris,
like you
believe
ate
me,
because
I
you
was
went to the
totally
bakery.
going to until
I
later
know.
that day I started violently throwing up.
But you have a habit of when you're going somewhere, like when you're leaving the house, you don't eat.
No,
And you don't eat while you're out.
What I do
Ever.
is I usually don't eat when I'm out, but that's more just because I don't like to. I prefer to eat at home. I don't know why. I'm comfortable here. And
But
I like
you
what's here.
you don't buy food and bring it home either. Like you
No.
won't get food out and bring it back.
Sometimes.
So
we all know that I love to stop at 7-Eleven for Drake's cakes. and
yeah,
such.
that's a meal, Al.
Yeah.
So basically, you probably had sugar in your system and nothing else.
There's a turkey sandwich floating in there somewhere. But eventually, so I was sick for the next 3 days pretty badly. And then Saturday I was doing okay. Sunday I was pretty fine. And then here's today. So we'll see about today. But yeah, fun week. How was your week, Brian?
Fun?
Okay. I'm going to believe that it was fun and not press you on that really odd response. Fun? Leonard
maybe?
Nimoy lives again in Brian. Ooh,
Too
Too
soon.
soon.
Too soon.
Oh. Chris, good week?
What is there to say? It snowed like crazy and it's nice and warm today.
It is. It's almost bearable. I looked outside and I'm like, it's just too cold to go outside. It's
It
getting
was
better.
Not, though.
It's just too
It
cold.
was nice.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Was your week nice?
It was colder in here than it was outside.
It's pretty cold.
I was shivering in here. I had to go put on a sweater.
I keep it cold in the studio, so they leave quickly. Because we have a studio. Chris,
Yeah.
how was your week?
It was fun.
Any capers this week?
Um,
Any new spy novels or mysteries? Or,
do you mean with regards to the scammer, or do you?
Or
yeah,
new
or have you
scammer.
read any? You know?
No, I have been reading. I've been reading a new book. By this author who has her second book is coming out later this month, so I wanted to read the first one before I read the second one, and I like it. It's just taking me a bit to get into.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the scammer, people have started getting their stuff back.
That's nice.
But she was sending back stuff and was breaking things on purpose to hide the fact that they were used. So she's like,
I see.
because she'd had some of the stuff for weeks.
Right, so she used it, and then to send it back, she broke it to make it look like it broke in shipping.
Yeah, like it broke in
Smart.
travel. But it was
This
open.
is a master.
Do
thief.
you understand
He's
how?
like your Moriarty.
Do you understand how much packaging goes into makeup? They shrink wrap things. They
do.
put things in boxes. They,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
maybe she didn't, or maybe they're just.
Because it's just like ripped
Well,
up
they
little pieces of plastic. And just
Remember,
threw them
they
in.
No, but
shipped
if
it
you
over
hadn't
there
used it-
and shipped it back.
Or there's stickers that block the opening that you have to cut off. So if that sticker's not there, you know the product has been opened, whether or not it's cracked. So
maybe it was like a Toy Story 2 issue where like toys got into the box and then they opened the stuff. And then you can't blame them
No.
because when you see them, they're just like collapsed.
well, two people told me that they had gotten their stuff back and that it had been broken. And so I asked them, I was like, well, does it look like it's been used? Well, because one of them said, oh, I got the eyeshadows back broken and the eyelashes I got back used. Which,
She just like pulled her own eyelashes out and just threw them in the box.
gross. So I was like,
curse.
well, does it look like the eyeshadows have been opened? Because chances are she broke it to hide the fact that it was used. So people definitely told, because the thing I was explaining this to Brian the other day, if you have something that's used in the US, whether it's drugstore or from Sephora or from Ulta, you can return it with a receipt.
Mhm.
Used
I
makeup,
was shocked when you told me this for the
Yeah.
first time, but apparently, yeah.
used makeup can be returned.
Sounds gross.
I know.
They don't resell it.
It's still super gross. It's like, if I was the lady behind the counter, I'd be like, man, he
They
must
don't-
have fallen on hard times returning this
Why?
Used
If it-
makeup.
Passionberry lip smacker
If it doesn't,
from 1997.
no,
when you
not
bought
that
it.
long.
I know, it's just
Still,
like, no, but when would you be using Passionberry lip smacker?
there's like a cult of lip smackers. Like they just stopped making them,
Oh yeah?
and people went up in arms.
There's a post for you. there's
No,
a
I don't.
post.
I don't give a shit
The
about
many
lip smackers.
colors.
I'm sorry.
How I love my lips
That
of many
Dr.
colors.
Pepper is no mess, though.
I do. You
Dr.
had the Dr. Pepper until like
That
2011.
shit is bomb. Like
was
it gives
floating
it
around
gives
the
a
house.
very nice color.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Like
I think I had the
23
root beer one too.
like 23 individual colors mixed together.
So funny.
Go to hell out. I'll say it for you.
So
listener.
yeah, that's the thing. That she was purposely breaking stuff to hide that she'd used it. They can't return it now, even if they do have the receipts. So they started, contacting her, telling her, please stop breaking stuff on purpose because we can return it if you haven't broken it. And so I think some people asked her to PayPal her the money because she didn't send some of the things back. Like some people sent her,
perishable stuff.
candles,
Mhm.
like, from Yankee Candles, and she hadn't sent those back. She hadn't sent back some Urban Decay stuff, which Urban Decay is money.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a high-end brand that they sell at
No,
Sephora.
I've heard about it, but I've just never.
You bought me the naked.
I did.
Basics palette.
I guess I did break a couple of Benjamins on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, sure.
Sure, yeah.
So, yes. So I don't know if she's PayPal'd anyone any money yet.
Mhm.
I do know that she was turning away packages that were still arriving. So she was just writing return to senders. So that way she didn't have to pay shipping herself, you know, which is good because she's not getting a chance to open it and mess around. So
yeah,
people are getting their stuff back though.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And did you personally have a good week though? That's what the listener really wants to know. Screw this jerk.
Well,
Yeah.
Trying to
damn
be
it.
not offensive, but like show how bad she is. Like this heathen of a person
Did I have a good
steal
week?
makeup.
I had an okay week. I think I told you, and I think I told Brian, but I didn't tell our listeners. So I had actually ordered something to send to the scammer.
Yes, you did.
I had ordered it the day before I found out that it was a scam. And so I canceled it that morning. As soon as I found out, I sent an email to Milani asking if I could cancel my order. And it was a really small order. It was like $20 worth of stuff. So they emailed me back saying, yeah, no problem. It's fine. Your order's been canceled. And then a couple of days later, I actually got a box in the mail from Milani, and it was the stuff I had ordered. So I sent them an email saying, I canceled the order with you, but I got this box of stuff. Can you just let me know what you want me to do to send it back? And they emailed me saying, well, I can send you a packing slip for you to send it back, but if you'd like to keep it for being honest and, letting us know that you got it, you can keep it. So I was like, oh, really? I'd love to try the stuff and, I'd be willing to, talk about it on the blog.
There you go.
So
I told you.
Got
Email
some
them
free
and be
stuff.
like, oh yes, I'd love to keep it and I'll talk about it on my blog, chrisconkers.com. And I also told you, which I don't think you did, but mention that you're an Amazon Prime subscriber.
yeah, I was pretty sure you were joking.
Just in case they have some sort of connection because it's like, oh, I'll help them.
That's pretty much Al's signature
Oh,
when he
yeah.
sends out emails is Amazon Prime
I
subscriber.
have gotten so much free stuff. Like dates and stuff too. Just not, I'm an Amazon Prime subscriber. Really?
Oh, I think you meant like dates like you eat.
Yeah, I did.
like the fruit.
The ladies love the, oh, yeah. I meant the fruit, yes.
Oh, someone's going a little dark there.
I charmed the tree with my, subscriptions. Let's get past this because this is not funny at all.
Nope.
Big week in terms of premieres this week. So much so that we're actually going to break up the premieres into 2 episodes. This first episode, we're going to look at all the premieres that premiered on Sunday night. That being Last Man on Earth, Secrets and Lies, and, Chris's favorite, my favorite, no one's favorite, Battle Creek. Let's kick it off with Last Man on Earth. Chris, why don't you tell us about this very unique comedy from the mind of Will Forte?
Well, essentially, he's the last man on Earth.
Good night, everybody. Yeah.
And that was episode 82. Or 83.
83.
83.
Did you say 83 in the opening? Or?
I did say 83 in the opening.
If you said start all over, I'm going to murder you. That banter was gold.
You just re-record the beginning and
you think it's that
splicey
easy?
splice.
You think cutting is that easy?
I wouldn't know.
Cut.
I was
Splice,
going to say
splice.
something very inappropriate.
Last Man on Earth.
Yes.
As you said, Will Forte is the last man on Earth. A virus strikes humanity in the year 2020, I believe. Everybody's wiped out, except for him. He lives in the U.S., and he drives around the U.S. trying to find other survivors. He keeps leaving these signs that say, alive in Tucson. Is that it? Something
Yeah.
along those lines. And eventually, he becomes so disenchanted with his loneliness in this first episode. We're actually talking about the first 2 here because it premiered as a back-to-back first episode.
And
second
I think
episode.
going forward, it's going to be aired as 2-episode
Oh, is
blocks. Yeah.
In the
It
first
works for
episode,
Gallivant.
yeah, but that's because they had to ditch that series as quickly as possible. They were just
It
shoveling
got
it
canceled,
overboard.
right?
Oh yeah, it's not coming back. It was a mini-series to begin with.
But
No, but I didn't-
They
I
aired all
hadn't
the
heard.
episodes, I think.
Yeah, I think they did.
They didn't air Allegiance.
No, did they
That's-
cancel it?
That's shit canned, yeah.
Oh, poor Chris.
What? I love that show.
We'll talk about that in the next
They better
episode,
put it all
actually.
up on Hulu. I
Anyway,
love that shit.
so he becomes so disenchanted with
Oh,
his
really?
loneliness.
Mr.
Yes.
stupid NBC crap about a boy.
Oh, he
Yeah.
got
Two seasons out of it, dude.
Not 2 full
Yeah,
seasons,
it
but
doesn't make it
nearly.
any better.
Close.
It's still crap.
Anyway,
And they're going to show the other 6.
he becomes so lonely. He becomes so lonely. He doesn't come so lonely because that doesn't make it all.
Well, he does come so lonely.
Well, he does.
There's a lot of that.
Oh my god.
Hey,
To be fair, that is
This
the
show
show's...
is taking way too long to
I'm
get
trying here. Where the fuck was I?
The first episode is pretty much just him being on his own and being lonely and turning all kinds of balls into people to share his loneliness.
well, he does a Castaway. He
Well
says
done, yeah.
he says it never ever gonna. It's the most ridiculous thing he's ever seen.
And he gets close to suicide. He
Yeah.
tries to kill himself
Yeah.
in the most painful way possible by driving his giant car into a giant rock. Could have just taken pills.
You couldn't find any.
Could have just drinking a lot of alcohol.
That's true. Well, he did. Maybe he just developed a tolerance. Right?
Makes him stronger.
No. He bathes in a pool of margaritas.
Maybe
Right.
he wanted to go out with a bang.
But eventually, in episode 2, he
No,
should
no.
have killed himself. He should have shot himself in the head. He's got a gun. We see him
No,
using
people
the gun.
mess that up all the time.
Episode 1, he
American Horror
he realizes there's a mistake.
Yes,
He should not kill himself.
right.
Okay.
Because he discovers the last woman on Earth, Carol, I believe her name is, who is not exactly what he expected or what he wanted.
Right.
They're two very different personalities, but the series basically takes the role of them trying to work out their differences and try to repopulate the Earth or bring back humanity, for lack of a better phrase. What do you think of the show, Brian?
It did exactly what I said when we did the upfronts that it needed to do. Was it can be the last man on Earth, but it cannot be the only person, because that'll get tired very quick. And I think you probably started to get a little bored of the whole thing about 15 minutes in.
Oh, if you deduct 10 minutes from that, I agree. I mean, it's shocking how little difference in the jokes there are in the first episode. It's really just that same idea of, okay, you're by yourself in the United States. There's nobody to tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want. That's great. You know what? You get some comedic moments from that.
But
You don't get 20 minutes of comedy from that because after the second joke like that, you don't want to see it anymore. I made a list of all of those jokes and I tried to pick out the ones that I laughed at and they just all stayed in the same list because I didn't laugh at any of them.
But I think they kind of went through the stages of grieving, let's call it, the excitement in that sense of he realizing he's alive, the desperation for finding someone, the acceptance that he's the last guy alive, and then the absolute boredom, I guess, of the realization that that's it. There's nothing else left for him.
Right. I mean, he does things like crash through security gates. He steals Hugh Hefner's pajamas and he sleeps in those.
He goes to the Smithsonian, obviously, and takes everything.
He shoots a glass door open to get into his store instead of just
Well,
using
it's locked.
the door. Would it be locked?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that if everybody just died?
Well, there's no bodies either, so we don't know.
That's also true. But there's
I
huge
know.
gaps in these. Maybe there's just a mass grave in like the ocean somewhere.
Well, we don't know if maybe it was locked. It happened overnight, and these doors were locked.
He hits on a mannequin because, of course,
Listen,
there's no other
he's
woman.
been alone for like
I mean,
3 years. Or
Maybe but there's no dust piles. I'm like, maybe this disease or whatever it was just makes you deteriorate.
possible. He
Vanish.
takes large piles of pornography. It's all things that seem funny, but when you're watching a person on a television show do them, you don't laugh so much as go, oh, I can see how somebody would find that funny. Now make me laugh.
Salute. It's a $10,000 bottle of wine, by the way. Goes great with the SpaghettiOs. That was like a $400 sip. Not as good.
I didn't find it not funny, but I chuckled, I guess, a couple times.
The one time,
Chortled, perhaps.
the one time I laughed at anything.
I don't like that word.
The one time, the one time I laughed at anything in that vein was when he pushes the car into the other car and it explodes. Not because of the explosion, but when he pushes it, it's part of a larger like bowling.
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
And he does the little
Yeah.
nudge to the side. I appreciated that. I thought that was clever somewhat, but that was the only thing in that whole first episode that really interested me in terms of comedy at all. Chris, what'd you think?
I like the margarita pool.
Did you?
I mean, I wouldn't keep it out there for days,
Yeah.
but, it sounds like it'd be fun for a party.
Does it though?
Yeah.
Like all these people in your pool?
Drinking the same thing.
You don't
Oh, you mean you just have
either
a pool
drink
there and just
from
have
it
people
or
dip
you
their
get
cups
in it. Like, you don't do both, because that's weird.
That's
But
what
he's
he
the last
did.
one on Earth, so he can do both.
I just thought, just realistically, because in the second episode, they realized, this is the last woman on Earth, and
Right.
they
Kristen
discuss.
Shaw plays her. She does the voice
She's
of
very good.
what is her name? Louise on Bob's
Yeah, I was like,
Burgers.
not Tina.
That's Louise.
Tina, that gem.
And she was on 30 Rock. She's been on
Yeah,
a lot
she's
of
been
stuff.
in a lot of stuff. She's a very good character actor, but she's very good in this. And then it gets a lot better with her in it, obviously, because now there's two people.
Yeah. Plus, she's way better.
She's funny. But the thing is, in the second episode, much like the first episode, it's still that very similar or constant form of comedy, albeit a different form now, because you have these two people and they're doing that very observational, very realistic, for lack of a better phrase, form of comedy where somebody will say something a little weird and the other person will just pick up on that and say how weird that is, and that's the joke. And that works, but the thing is, that can't be everything. And in that second episode, that is everything.
So what about you? What did you do for a job?
I was a temp.
Oh, I'm sorry. How old are you?
I'm 41.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not something I'm super proud of.
You mean not something of which you are super proud?
Yeah. Were you an English teacher?
No. I was an office manager at a hot sauce bottling company.
Sounds like a spicy job.
No, I didn't work with the spices. I was filing.
That's all what they do.
But it's the same thing in the first episode. It's just the same jokes over and over again.
Right,
And,
and-
then the
and-
second episode, it's the same
and
joke.
that's another
It's
problem.
a different type of joke because it's two people now, but it's the same joke over and over again.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth saying, Will Forte wrote the first episode. I don't believe he wrote the second one, but he obviously had a big hand in it. This is probably Will Forte's brainchild, I believe it is. And he actually said that he originally envisioned the show to be on cable, which I thought was interesting because unless you're aiming for FXX and what is it called, Man Seeking Woman,
Ugh.
this is not a cable quality comedy in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it might have been because then you could get away with a lot. You could push the censors more, and you can.
I guess. I mean, they could.
That's the
they could
problem
show him
too.
peeing into, I don't know, into like the Stanley Cup, I guess,
Or pooping into that fountain.
or pooping into the fountain. He does make a
Poop pool.
poop pool. He carves
Or
a diving
toilet
board.
pool. I forgot what it's called.
Who the hell cares, honestly? I mean, the thing with the show is, it can be funny, but they have to find ways of introducing different styles of comedy into an episode. It's ridiculous to say, but it's so basic where
Oh, it'll get more.
It's so basic it doesn't even know it's basic.
it's so basic to say that you have to have different kinds of comedy into a comedy. But in the second episode, the only like observational comedic moments were ones where like Kristen Shaw's character would say, "Oh, we have to go shopping," and then Will Forte would go, "Oh, we're not going shopping," and then they cut and they're in the car going shopping.
You can't park here. It's a
People-
handicap spot.
I thought that was interesting, but I'll talk about that in a second. But that whole "we're not going shopping" and they show them going shopping, that's a joke that's been going on for like 50 years, and people haven't been laughing
More.
at it for the last 48 years.
No, there are people that will still laugh at it.
But-
I guarantee you.
but it's so lazy.
Another to talk about lazy comedy. I guarantee you there will be more women that show up.
Well, yeah, because if you look at the cast list,
Well, I
there's
didn't
more
look
women.
at the cast list.
I'm looking at it right now.
All right. Well,
Isn't January Jones
Yes,
is supposed to
sir.
be on the show, I think.
Melissa.
so there you go. So
You mentioned the...
that's going to be again lazy comedy writing.
Absolutely.
But it could be funny.
Of course, because now when the prettier girl comes, Kristen Shaw's character is going to be jealous.
Seems like they're all prettier.
Kristen Shaw isn't ugly.
I know, but
It's just that the characters she plays aren't meant to be pretty characters. They're meant to be funny characters. And it's kind of sad that you can't have a character who's pretty and funny.
I think it's a combination of things, like her voice
Right.
and her face And
that laugh of hers though is money. Like anytime you hear that
so
laugh,
good though.
it is money in the bank. It is a great laugh. She actually does the voice of Victoria Best on Word Girl.
Oh my god, she does.
Yeah.
There's some amazing voices on Word Girl.
Brian, you mentioned that there's this interesting relationship between the two of them where Kristen Shaw's character is really, I don't want to say idyllic, but she sticks to the societal norms even when there is no society, as where Will Forte's character just
gave up on him.
Yeah, he goes all caveman. I thought that was interesting, and that really has the possibility to be interesting going forward, but I thought the issue with it was, if you look just beyond the skin of this show, you can see how Kristen Shaw's character is quite... What's the word I'm looking for here, Chris?
I don't know, because I don't know.
Hypocritical is the word.
Why?
Because when she shows up and moves next door to his house, she has a U-Haul. She didn't pay for the U-Haul.
She might have.
Yeah, you don't know.
Even if she did pay, how would she pay for the U-Haul?
She left money.
She rented it.
When would she have rented? She would have rented
Maybe
this,
she was moving cross country at the time?
That is a far stretch.
I don't know. We don't know what her character story is.
Well, but that's the thing. She's not saying he has to pay for the groceries that they take. It's not an issue of, payment. It's an issue of going about those things in a way that is not destructive.
A U-Haul is not a Rembrandt or a Picasso or a Whistler.
Yes, but
theft
is theft.
She didn't care about him taking the paintings.
Yeah, she did. She literally
said,
she did. "Oh, so you stole them."
Where'd you get all these paintings?
I took them from various museums. I got some Van Goghs and Monets. In that pile alone, there's like $1 billion worth of famous paintings.
So you stole all these paintings?
Wow.
And the more ridiculous thing is, I watched this live, and there was obviously a preview for the next episode. And in the next episode, once they get engaged at the end of this episode, which, spoiler alert, they do, because she wants to be married before they sleep together, they go to a jewelry store, and she's like, we need a ring. And she's like, I want that one, and that one, and that one. So clearly she doesn't mind theft, because they're just taking these rings.
Maybe he broke her down.
But what annoys me in all that is, you're sacrificing the juxtaposition of these two characters when one of them is just as bad as the other and still hypocritical. See my point? Yes?
Yeah, but I think it's understandable in terms of art because it's one piece that really it doesn't, I guess technically it belongs to, most of those are museum pieces, so they don't actually belong to one person.
Right.
But they belong to the world.
Right. But I would argue that him taking the museum pieces makes more sense because art is to be appreciated. And even if he's not necessarily looking at them all the time, he's at least taking them and looking at them.
I don't know.
And
he's not taking care of them though.
No,
so he's not appreciating them.
But he didn't
and he's not giving them the
Rembrandt.
respect that they deserve. So, like, if he had them hung on a wall, okay. He doesn't. He has them, in garbage piles, and he's putting food on them, and...
Maybe he doesn't believe that they deserve the respect that you do.
So then he should have left them at the museum.
No, he still wants to value them, just not with a lot of value. I'm sorry. Chris.
Yes.
Let's talk about tomatoes.
Yes.
What the deal with the tomatoes, Chris?
Seriously, if of all the places to move, why would you live in Tucson?
It's not a great place.
I mean...
That's where they got tax credits to film.
But but
I mean, if you were the last man on Earth.
It's that, also it's probably pretty barren because there's a lot of desert, so it's easy to find a place where there's not a lot of people.
True.
Still,
Tucson.
The thing with the tomatoes is she starts to plant a garden because she wants fresh tomatoes, and within a day, she's got a whole garden full of tomatoes. And within another day...
No, it wasn't a day. You don't know what the passage of time is.
It's short enough where their relationship is still awkward.
Well, it's awkward because he doesn't want to spend any time with her.
And they haven't spoken to people in years.
But it's understood when watching a television show, but if it's in the same episode, it happens within a relatively short period of time, unless it's shown to not happen in that relatively short period of time.
I don't know.
But within 3 days, tomatoes go up, tomatoes come down, and then he's got to rig up this long, hose system when he could have easily just used all the bottled water that he was using to flush his toilet to water the tomatoes.
Yeah, but it wouldn't keep them consistently
There's
hydrated.
bottled water everywhere. It's a whole country.
Yeah, but then you got to cart it, and it's a mess.
But it wouldn't keep it consistently running, and the tomatoes would die.
But you don't need it running. We've had tomatoes, and we don't water them
but
all
you have
the
to
time.
water it consistently.
It's Tucson, Arizona.
So?
It's 110 degrees during the day.
So you don't water it
And
during the day.
the earth isn't
No, you need to water it consistently.
The earth doesn't hold moisture the same way it does here.
So why would you live in Tucson, Arizona?
Well, that's where he lives.
What did I say?
There's
Well,
a
you
lot
don't have
of
to worry
plot
about
holes.
snowstorms or...
I guess.
Touche.
You have any other points on this, Chris?
No. I just think that Carol's character was more interesting.
Absolutely.
And I think the second episode was way better than the first episode.
Right, because it doubled the cast.
I don't know. It's just...
And it allowed for interplay, as where the first episode is just Will Forte doing stupid things on screen for 20 minutes. I mean, if you're a fan of that Jackass-style comedy, and I'm not calling you a jackass, I mean the show.
Yeah.
You'll probably like this, because he destroys a lot of stuff, and he does a lot of zany stuff.
I don't think you would like it, because this isn't at all like that.
Sure,
No.
he tattoos his own ass. I don't know.
Everyone's like doing, they're setting up cars and stuff to hit other cars, but it's not like people are being injured or, trying to hurt themselves.
Okay.
No, but that's what Jackass is.
I know, yeah. Brayan, anything to add on this?
No, I think this is exactly what I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Fair enough. Chris, what was your rating on this?
Are we rating them separately or
No, just the two
one?
episodes together, because it aired as one piece. And that's what the rating I'll give you will be.
Want me to jump in? I'll jump in.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I give it 2.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, I would agree.
I believe
It was
I
like-
had this.
Between a 2 or 2.5.
I believe I had this at a 1.5. Didn't see a lot of value in it. Even the comedy wasn't very good, even when there were 2 actors on screen, as I said. And I don't think it has legs to last for a long time
I
either.
think
No.
I just like Kristen Shaw. Didn't they renew it though?
I don't think they renewed it.
Why didn't I hear that they already renewed it?
I don't believe so. I may be wrong on
Why
that.
did
You might
I
want to check
think
that,
the
but I
TV
don't.
God mentioned something about it?
Well, maybe the TV god must smote himself now. I don't know.
Sounds like some secrets and lies.
Terrible. Hey, before we go there, let's go to the ratings on this. When this aired on Sunday night, this aired at 9 o'clock, up against, actually, as Brayan mentioned, Secrets and Lies. And in the hour-long airing, this had a 2.4 rating with a 6 share and 5.75 million viewers. So that's really pretty good in terms of key viewership, 18 to 49, 2.4 million viewers. The thing is, 2.4 rating is relatively high. It beat everything else in its time slot, including The Good Wife. So, not bad at all.
Not bad, but Good Wife has been struggling recently, and it's probably on its last season.
Let's go now to Secrets and Lies, as Brayan mentioned. On ABC, a new drama about
Secrets and Lies.
secrets and lies, and Brian's going to tell us more about it right now.
It's based on an Australian show, not to be confused through a very similar type Broadchurch Grace Point.
The Missing.
The Missing. This is Ryan Phillippe's jogging through the woods, and he discovers the body of a boy who happens to be his neighbor that they used to babysit all the time, but you find out a big spoiler reveal at the end that it's something else to him. And you're watching the repercussions of being the prime suspect and what it is doing to affect his life, wife, family, and just in general his day-to-day. There's this weird friend, cousin, brother.
Oh, the guy who lives at his house.
That lives at his house.
Yeah.
And essentially it's a hard-nosed detective who has a death stare and just has this just odd, just weird look on her face the entire time. She feels that there's more behind the story that he's not telling, and she will not rest until she uncovers it all. And that detective is played by Juliette Lewis.
Jesus, she looks like a sad old nun.
It's
many
the
lemons
hair.
did you eat, madam?
But she pulls it off though, because she's the total opposite.
The mother of the child is Natalie Martinez, who's from your favorite show, Under the Dome.
Under the Dome. I told him that, and he hadn't
she
realized.
was the officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dan
I told you that yesterday.
Dan
I did not hear you.
Fogler plays the friend. He was from. Did you guys see Fanboys?
No.
That's a good one.
He looks really familiar.
He's from Balls of Fury.
No.
And a bunch of other stuff that came out about that time. He's a not so good actor.
I will say this for the show. I like the fact that me and Chris were actually talking about this yesterday. It kicks off really strong. You know, Ryan Phillippe's running through the woods, and
He's from
within
Hannibal.
15 seconds, you see the kid's dead body. You know that something important has happened, and it kicks you right into the story. It's not one of those miniseries, and this is a miniseries, where you have to wait, 40 minutes for the actual story of the series to start. It's not the slap for that phrase,
Yeah, but even with that, I feel like nothing happened.
That's the issue.
I mean, he's dead,
Mhm.
and the investigation is going on, and I still feel like nothing happens. Like, even with the investigation, I feel like nothing happens. Nothing's being revealed, nothing's being found out. Like, they ask him a couple of more questions. Like, they ask him about his flashlight. That's really it. And even the information that you're getting about him having been drunk and not knowing what he was doing, and, going home, and the information about his fight with his wife, even it's just a general sense of nothing.
And the biggest spoiler of all, the fact that he's the father of the kid.
He is. We find that at the end.
Yeah.
Juliette Lewis gives it up.
Which I was actually surprised
scowl.
about. I didn't actually see it coming.
No, I thought it was a good catch for the second episode.
Yeah, but I think I agree with Chris. I think you have this great, or Al right too, because you get this great start, and Chris is right, and just it drops down and dies.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just like spikes at the end. But so it's bookended by
It's
some
actually
interesting stuff.
It's
but
a lot like The Missing in that way, where if you remember, there was like 20 minutes in the middle of The Missing that didn't do anything, and then at the end you see the kids drawing.
Right, and then
Did any of you watch the second episode?
with The Missing,
No.
I was
Got time
more
for that?
intrigued to watch a second episode than with this. And I like Ryan
Yeah.
Phillippe.
I don't like Ryan.
I like
Phillippe.
Ryan
I don't like Ryan Phillippe that much in this show. I haven't seen him in a lot of other stuff, but I think he's not that believable as a father. There's some scenes where there's one
He
where
keeps calling his daughter Monkey, and I'm like, you are not Orphan Black. You can't call your daughter Monkey.
there's one where he calls her like, "Oh, my angel" or something. I'm like, Jesus
It was
Christ,
really-
put some fucking emotion into your acting.
It didn't seem like
Well, maybe,
that was his child.
I don't know. Maybe they're not his children.
Oh, really?
Maybe it's the friend who's staying at the house.
Yeah, it's that guy.
All the secrets and lies.
Nat? What's going on, Angel?
There's a very pivotal shift, I would say, in the middle of this episode. I think the first 10 minutes are actually pretty... I want to disagree with Chris. The first 10 minutes are pretty full of story. There's a lot to keep your attention. They keep mentioning Christmas, which kind of threw me off because I didn't think that there would be a Christmas episode in March.
That's I think a big problem with the show is that just the timing, because it really takes you
It
out.
happens sometimes.
And I think maybe they had intended to start this like in January.
Yeah.
At a real mid-season start instead of like a sweeps kind of ending start. But it was very distracting.
But
It didn't bother me. I didn't really
Oh,
think
it
about
bothered the
it.
shit out of me. I'm done with Christmas.
I was like, why don't you
no,
guys have...
when the first time when she asks him what his plans for Christmas are, I was like, does he know yet? It's like a year away.
Oh, I didn't.
When is he-
I figured it must be around Christmas, especially since someone had like reindeer lights up.
I didn't see that. But like I said, I would disagree. I think the first 10 minutes or so, you get a lot of plot, but then, as you said, it does really drift off into
Yeah.
nothing for a while. But eventually, the police ask him to take a DNA test, and he turns it down. And after that scene, the community really starts to turn on him. They were on his side. They were supportive of him. But later on,
They were never
After that-
really supportive of him, though.
no, but they weren't accusatory.
No,
towards him.
but they
No, but
they
they-
seem to not like him. They like the wife and the kids
Part
more?
of the reason is that the wife and him are having like marital issues, so they probably support the wife more.
Yeah, but I don't think it's been that apparent.
They had fights. Neighbors hear fights.
That's true.
Maybe. Plus, he's banging what's her name?
Yeah.
He is. He's banging Detective what's her face from Under the Dome.
I
How did he
kn-
get under the dome? Is my question.
Wow.
How did he get her pregnant? There's a dome in the way.
No, Al. That's...
No. I think one of the bigger issues with this is Juliette Lewis's believability as a cop.
You mean Juliette Lewis and the creepy stare?
Yeah, it just...
What is she doing? Looking in his window while he's shirtless at 6:30 in the morning.
Listen, do you blame her?
Yes.
She's just staring, like death staring, and then like knocks on the window.
It's the level of psychosis.
I wouldn't blame him if he just like took the blender he was using and just like threw it at the window really hard.
It's the level of psychosis that she gives off when she's looking and staring that brings it from a level of a cop who was tortured by or haunted by a case that they never solved, to something that is just ridiculous. And I think that's the problem. I think the intent was to be like there was a cop there was something there they wanted to solve to kind of alleviate something that happened in the past that pushes that kind of effort to find out if this is really the guy. And she takes it to a completely off the charts, completely unrealistic and just distracting response.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, even if you have that history where you had a case go bad and you really want to solve this one because it's similar in tone, or I don't know, that's like David Tennant in Broadchurch. That's still, you can still be a jerk and be, a serious cop but show emotion. You can get angry. You can,
But
you can show emotion.
But that's the difference.
She's literally stone-faced through the whole thing and like so fucking creepy because she's just staring and there's no inflection in the way she says anything except there's obvious accusation in a lot of the things that she says, but otherwise she's just like a wall.
So you went drinking with your friend Dave last night. How much did you drink?
Too much.
More than a couple, then.
What?
Well, earlier you said you had a couple of drinks. And you drove?
We took a cab. What does any of this have to do with anything?
What time did you get home?
2 or 3?
Which is it? 2 or 3?
I'm not sure.
How did you know
Know what?
that Tom was dead? It was dark and wet. When did you first realize that he was dead?
I felt the back of his head.
So you moved the body
I tried to resuscitate him.
after you felt the back of his head?
Before. I saw him lying there, and I shook him, and he didn't respond. I didn't know what to do. I started doing CPR, and that wasn't working, so I picked him up, and I felt
What are your plans for Christmas?
he'd be here. Why?
Big dull wall. It's just
It's pretty bad.
at the same time, you think that it's Christmas. Maybe put on a smile. Maybe put like a nice pin on your jacket.
Oh,
Show
God, Al,
something that
come
makes
on.
you human. What?
Like emotions
Like emotions.
or inflection.
Yeah.
There's none of
Less
that.
of those. I don't really use those inflections.
You just want the pin. You just want the pin.
I want a pin. Anyway, getting back to the whole DNA test thing. I thought that would be the scene that would drive the transition of the community into hating him. But there is no real scene that shows why they
You mean when he says
Right, when he
that
turns it down.
he refuses to.
You would think that naturally, if you're telling the story, the community finds out maybe by one of the 15 news vans in
I think
front
it
of
was
his house.
reported that he refused.
No, but that was after.
But they might
Because,
not have
they
announced it until then because it wasn't part of the case. And she's trying to build a
But
case.
there's no clear.
But there is no there's
In
no
terms of
scene
the
that
story-
shows why they transfer into hating him.
They just do. And it seems like it's just based off of them taking him in for questioning. Like, that is the one thing. Like, oh, shit, they're questioning him? Well, even though he found the body,
You know, how? Oh my
he
god!
must have been the
be
one who
sinister.
did it because they're not taking anyone else for questioning.
You know what? that happens a lot. People do start and
But the thing is,
attributing guilt by that.
If you're telling this story, the better way to do it is to have a scene where the community as a whole realizes that maybe something's going on here, and then they start to turn on him. It's more natural in that way.
Well, they tried a little bit with the neighbor bringing over the lasagna or the ziti or whatever.
By that point, they're already all turned on.
I know. But if they had made that scene come earlier,
possibly,
it would have helped ease into this idea that they were all turning on him. Because he even mentions that there was I knew he never really liked me, and that kind of brings it all together. That happened too late.
And by the end of the episode, by like the 40-minute mark, he can't even keep his job anymore. That's fine.
Which is good because that it shows that kind of that acceleration of people not, really buying into the fact that he might be guilty. This is the only suspect, the only face I see every night on the news.
Right. That's fine, but I would have liked more of a bell curve as opposed to a triangle in terms of the change from
without a
support
doubt. It
to
was
non-support. It's a good metaphor. Get your own metaphors.
But it wasn't an equilateral.
Wagon.
It was more of an isosceles.
Why you gotta just dump on?
Well, listen, it wasn't a gradual rise to the top. It was a sharp.
No, but it was a bell curve because they support him, then they support him less, then they support him less, then they support him less, then they start to not support him. Then they don't support him. That would be the ideal way to do it.
I know, but you're saying a triangle. It's got to go right up
to
the
all
top.
be cut.
Folks, imagine in your head a triangle.
An isosceles.
Yeah, but you're putting a base on it. There's no baseline, so it's a peak.
Chris, as you know, I'm all about that face.
No, you're not.
I fucking hate her.
And cut.
Brayan, anything else to note on this show? Maybe in terms of filming?
In terms of filming.
In terms of cinematography?
I actually was filmed well. I thought it was, I think it's editing.
I actually liked it.
I think editing wise is pretty well done. I just think there is not enough direction. And I think, but part of that is maybe not knowing what to do with Juliette Lewis. And I think that she is a good actress. She has the potential to play this a different way, and I think that maybe it was distracting. There must have been a lot of takes too.
I don't know.
How could you not watch her make that face and not like break out and laugh?
But on top of that, we don't know what the original was like, so she might be playing it off of the original.
The original is only 6 episodes. This was expanded to 10.
There must have been more staring.
This was expanded to 10.
10 or 11?
10.
10. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think this was altogether a bad show. As Chris said, and as everybody has really mentioned, I just thought not a lot happened in this first episode, in the middle especially.
Oh, yeah, nothing.
Ryan Phillippe's performance isn't the best, but all in all, it's not the worst cast. They work all right together. It's just, I wouldn't spend my viewing hours watching this.
I think that's the problem with this. Is it worth spending an hour watching it?
No.
I mean, it was a 2-hour premiere, and I said let's only do the first hour because I
thank
didn't want
God.
to sit through 2 hours of it.
Then I was trying to piggyback on that and say, hey, do we have to watch both hours of
Last Man on Earth? If we had just had to watch the first episode of Last Man on Earth, you would have hated it because nothing happens. It's just stupid jokes.
See, it's all in the phrasing. You got to say we're only watching the first episode, right?
No, I would still say no.
You can't phrase it by asking.
Part of the reason I said both episodes is because I had already watched both episodes by the time you told me.
Such a little douche.
Anything else to add on?
It was only 30 minutes or 20 whatever minutes.
Any little innocuous things?
I mean, I think
plenty of innocuous things.
I think it looked good. I just think no. Let's not get into the innocuous
let him. He never has any. Let him shoot a couple of them out.
The contrived. We got to do this flashlight for your birthday. Remember? Yeah, it's right in my. Oh no! Where did it go?
The acting was so bad in that scene. Like I wouldn't have believed him.
Bad.
It's right in my special flashlight case. Oh no!
I mean, he looked really guilty.
Well,
a lot of the time.
This is part of the show, right? You need to establish for the audience watching at home: is he or is he not guilty? Is there something to the fact that they keep looking into his past and questioning him and bringing him down? And he looks so squeaky clean that it's like it doesn't.
Because he's completely sure that it's not him. So,
but he might be the greatest actor in the world.
No, if he did it, I don't think he knows he did it.
Well, that's a cop out.
Oh, maybe he has like the.
And then
he was drunk as shit.
Let's face it.
The kid was in his pajamas.
Maybe he has the old alcoholism.
I mean, it's possible that he found out that it was his kid and was going to take him, and then the kid was fighting him, and I don't know. If he was really drunk out of his mind.
You should be the showrunner, Chris.
Right? Make it so interesting.
The only like innocuous thing I had was, at one point, the guy who brings the lasagna over is like, oh yeah, anyone who kills a child, I say kill him and let God handle it.
Yeah.
So murder is okay then. All
Sure.
right.
No.
Thank you, black gentlemen.
I don't-
I'm sure you didn't mind murder in your countrymen's history when a lot of African Americans were killed unfairly. But hey, just let God sort it out.
I don't
I don't think he's saying
means,
like
let's, hang him. I think he means...
He literally said, anyone who hurts
Yes,
a
I know-
child,
I know what he said,
I
thank
say
you.
kill him
Yeah.
and let God sort it
No,
out.
but I don't think he thinks let's assemble a mob and
That's pretty
kill
much
him.
what he's saying.
I think what he means
Yeah.
is that they should execute him. Like, they should execute whoever did it. Not that he should be in jail,
There
for
was
the rest of his life,
There
that he
was
should
something
be
with
killed.
the flippant level of it where it was just like, all right, we have laws for a reason.
I
sir.
think, but I took the flippancy as he's accusing the guy and saying it
Oh,
to
saying
his
Well,
it.
there
face.
was also that, obviously, yeah.
I think it was more that,
I
to be honest.
didn't think of it as like, let's get a mob together and go a lynching.
Let's get a mob going.
Anyone who hurts a child, I say kill him. Let God sort it out.
Chris, what was your score on this?
My score was 2. But I think I'm being generous.
Okay. You want to go down?
I
then?
know, I'm gonna leave it at 2, but
Okay.
just
I'm being
Secrets
very
and lies.
nice with
I'm
this,
being
Brian
nice.
Philippi.
it just wasn't anything. It was okay to look at, but it was just, it definitely had that foreign feel, but at the same time, it was nothing. Like, there wasn't much story there. The end and the beginning was okay, but it's mostly just him running and then,
If I may, it was nice to look at. It had that foreign feel, but there was nothing. You just described Ryan Philippi.
he doesn't have a foreign feel.
No, it's-
Philippi?
He's
Sounds like Philippines to me.
He's about as American as they get.
I-
He's married to Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Come on.
I get a, oh man. That poor unfortunate soul. He could use a second season just to make up for...
He's the reason she's the way she is.
He's not, well...
Yeah.
He was the reason she was yelling at that cop.
No.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was...
No, that's her new husband.
Oh, that's her new husband.
I think he cheated on her, and that's why they got a divorce.
Oh, and you should be.
And I think he has. I think
She's
they
a
have.
nice woman.
I think they have 2 daughters together.
Oh, I didn't want to mention the older daughter here.
Yes, she's
Very
really
good
pretty.
looking. Very
So
good
pretty.
looking. She's Australian, and
Is she?
she is.
Is she from the original show?
I don't think so.
She didn't say much, but
But I'm
her
not sure.
her accent didn't peek through.
Very good
She's
looking.
Indiana Evans.
Yes.
She was an H2O. Just add the water.
Somebody's got his Wikipedia in front of him.
And Blue Lagoon, The Awakening. It's a TV movie.
I should also say she's 24, so don't call me creepy. Brian, what was your score on this?
Al, creepy.
She's
It
older
was-
than you are.
I know. So come on, it's
Oh,
couldn't
cougar
be more
alert.
kosher.
Cougar alert. I don't think that's
What do you
how-
call an Australian cougar? Call them a cougar because that's what they are. Chris,
Bobcat? Do they have cougars?
I don't think they have bobcats are I think are a North
That's an
American, thing.
American.
Damn it.
Score
2.
2. I had this.
I was like between a 1.5 and a 2, but I gave it a 2 anyway.
I had this at 2 1/4.
I didn't
Just
do.
below.
Are we allowed to do quarter?
We were doing them last week. Why not?
Were we?
Yeah,
All right,
you
then-
did it.
Did I?
Then I'm refining my score to 1 3/4 because that's really what the show
Okay.
is.
I would agree with that, but I'm gonna leave it at 2.
1 3/4.
I'm still
That's just a
being
mess I
nice.
don't want to get into.
Still being nice to Ryan Phillips.
There's nothing here for you to want to tune in.
I'm
again.
being nice to Juliette Lewis too, okay? And I'd rather be
Or
nice
else-
to Juliette Lewis than to
Or else you'll wake up
Ryan
tomorrow
Phillippe,
and you'll
'cause she
see her
deserves it
staring
more.
through your window.
yeah, creepy.
So 1 3/4, huh? All right.
Knock knock.
Last show on the docket this episode is Battle Creek. It's over on CBS.
So much. to
And
say.
guess what it is, folks? It's a buddy cop drama on CBS.
But an Odd Couple buddy cop drama.
Go figure. Jeez. There's one thing they don't have enough of. It's cop dramas.
Or enough mayhem.
Or The Odd Couple, because they don't have enough of those. Basically, in Battle Creek, you have this police detective, Russ Agnew, who's played by Dean Winters from 30 Rock. He's from the Allstate commercials. He plays Havoc.
Is it Allstate?
Or Chaos.
Yeah, it's Allstate.
Mayhem.
Mayhem.
That's why he just said Mayhem.
Oh, I don't listen to Brian.
It's the Beaver King.
Or
It was
La
also-
Mala Suerte. That's
true.
what it is in the Spanish ones. But it's a different guy.
Who is it? Wasn't he famous?
No.
No? Okay.
Soy la
So you
mala
have
suerte.
him, and he's basically your classic, jaded, very rough, gruff, Jack Klugman-y Oscar character. And then, lo and behold, a FBI agent is transferred into his department, played by Josh Duhamel from, of course, Fergie's House. That's not a show, that's where he lives. And and he is the very...
Shouldn't he cheat on her too?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he did. And I'm pretty sure she took him back.
He's the very
Wouldn't you, Chris?
No.
dapper
I really
and
wouldn't.
idealist FBI agent who everything seems to go right for in his life. And this whole series is going to be them trying to get around their differences and solve some crimes in the nation's most dangerous area, southern Michigan.
Well, okay.
Well, I think it's implied that it's really not that dangerous.
That's my point.
All right.
There's a lot of sarcasm there, Brian.
All right. I didn't. I think your level of sarcasm has gotten so good that I couldn't tell.
Oh man, the Kings, you can never tell. I'm like a ghost.
Don't forget that
Sarcasm ghost.
Cal Penn is also in this.
He is your favorite guy.
My favorite guy.
Chris, you were
Sorry.
I think that in the beginning it was actually really interesting because it started off as more of a show about this police department that has absolutely no money that tries to MacGyver their way into solving cases. Obviously not effectively, as the baby monitor with the bad battery will show, but you know, they're trying to make it work and they don't have the money. And I thought that was a really interesting idea for a show. If it had just been that, if it had been, you know, a department that's struggling, that like literally these MacGyver-esque ways.
Do you remember Team Knight Rider? Should have just been Team
Yeah.
MacGyver.
That would have been
Like
good
Richard
too.
Dean Anderson takes all these people under his wing and like shows them how to put 2 paper clips and, and gum and make like a hammer. out of it.
Yeah, but MacGyver was a much better show than this. I mean, this was just meant to be, you know, this like almost like Bad News Bears, but with actual talent. Like they could get out of you know, the lack of having supplies and being able to actually solve crimes.
Right.
But then really it's only this one guy who's just good.
I thought I would agree with Chris.
Russ
That was
Agnew.
an interesting angle.
Yeah,
You know,
I think if it had been that, it would have been interesting.
But the thing is that what really annoys me about the show, or one of the many, many things that really annoys me about the show, is it takes that I said Madam Secretary. No, that's a good show. It takes that Mysteries of Laura approach where we're going to do a police drama and we're going to try to make it dramatic, but we're also going to give you comedy.
Yeah.
This did it better than the Mysteries of Laura.
It did not.
Yes.
I want to say that it didn't, but Mysteries of Laura was so bad that I kind of think it's a smidgen better.
They were bad for different reasons. Because here, it's awkward because they're at the same time doing drama. They have dramatic moments and they're trying to impart really, really stupid comedy. Like there's a scene where they're
Mm-hmm.
interviewing the drug dealer on the street and he's getting all
He was a drug dealer on Rush.
Was he?
Yeah.
I think,
but he was on the show the full season. Like, he was Rush's drug dealer.
Here, I think the character's name was like Omar or something. And he gets
He has
sad.
a nice man bun.
He does have a man one.
Yeah.
He gets sad when he finds out one of his friends or both of his friends were killed. Not only is he not that great an actor, I thought, but the whole time that Dean Winter's character is interviewing him, Josh Duhamel's character is just going, "Oh man, it's okay.
I fucking hated that.
I feel. Don't worry. You got to be strong, man. You
The
got to be strong." To the
dichotomy
point
that
where
they would try to bring
it's
in
trying to
between
be
the two of
funny
them.
in a scene that, if you were to leave it alone, would actually have some believable drama in it.
I disagree. I don't think it was trying to be funny.
Of course, it was.
No.
I think he was just trying to play the other side of not the hard-nosed cop, the empathizing cop.
No, but the thing is,
And I fucking hated that.
it was clearly trying to be comedic
And that
because
guy is-
Dean Winters reacts to it in a comedic way. He
Well, 'cause-
reacts to it by laughing it off, which means I'm supposed to laugh it off, which means it's meant to be funny.
Because that's how...
No, yeah. I think that's more of like...
It's eliciting...
he thinks it's so fucking preposterous that he's laughing.
That's what I
It's more of
said.
a, like, it's a complete opposite of of how he does things, that he thinks it's a joke.
It's more of a
But
chuckle than a laugh.
I don't think it's supposed to be funny.
We know you work for Dante Perone.
Never heard of him. Maybe I'll, friend him on Facebook and we can hang out.
He's dead, homeboy.
How?
He had a negative reaction to a bullet going through his head.
Oh, God.
When's the last time you spoke to him or Gavin Smart?
Gavin?
Yep.
Oh, God.
You have to be strong. Hey, Milton, give it a rest, okay? Kid's a drug dealer.
I do something illegal, I deserve to die?
When you prick him, does he not bleed?
Did not just say that. What's wrong with you? Hey, Omar, you can cry tomorrow, okay? But right now, we need the names of Dante's suppliers and anyone else he might have sold drugs to, especially anybody who was infringing on his territory.
Go to hell.
Go to hell. Neo, you got caught with 6 rocks in your pocket. What makes you think I'm not gonna make your life miserable, huh?
No, we're not gonna make your life miserable.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna make it
No,
miserable.
we're not gonna make your life miserable.
Yeah, I am gonna make it
We're
miserable.
not gonna make your life miserable.
But I completely agree with you. I think one of my biggest issues with the show was it wasn't comedic enough and it wasn't dramatic enough. It just fell in this weird nothing place in the middle.
Yeah.
And the whole, juxtaposition of the jaded cop and the naive cop, it should make, in theory, the show more interesting because you have this odd couple. But I think somehow, every time you saw them together, it just highlighted how fake they both were. Like, neither one of them seemed realistic enough as what they were. Josh Duhamel was just fucking awful.
And to that point,
His but he's awful, but his character is just ridiculous.
More important than Josh Duhamel's acting ability,
which isn't very important because
which is important
it's
at
not
all.
there.
Rick Gonzalez, who plays the Hispanic kid, was Spanish in Old School. He's much better as a comedic actor than anything. He's only good as a comedic actor. He went to, want to guess?
If you say Malloy, I'm going to jump over
No.
my bench and kill you.
He went to Chris's alma mater.
Oh, the acting school of stars.
When did he go?
I don't know. He's 35. though.
LaGuardia
He's too old.
High School.
He's
Yes,
35.
LaGuardia High School.
Yeah.
The famed school.
He was also in The Rookie, which is where I remember him first from. And then he was on a really, not so good show, Reaper, on CW. Remember that?
I remember.
To Chris's point about the two of them really taking away from each other more than they add to each other, I was left with the question after this episode ended of which character or of any of the characters, who am I supposed to like? Because Josh Duhamel's character, he's always making himself the guy who fixes everything. He's Mr. Perfect, for lack of a better phrase. And that is quite an unlikable characteristic for the average person, At the same time, he's very idealistic, which is likable. So he's not a character who's meant to be disliked, but he's not a character you can reasonably like because everything he wants, he succeeds at, and he's so good that it becomes grinding on, it grinds on you.
That's the thing. He's seemingly humble, so it's not as harsh, but at the same time, there's that scene when they're about to go into the house, I think, the drug dealer's house, and he's like, oh, I figured out what's wrong with you. You've never had anything bad happen to you, and you're just this naive cop, and he's like, and you can't get by as just this naive cop, and he's like, no, you can't, and you kind of see that there's some sort of, darkness or something lurking.
The show's going meta.
But you don't get that yet. So, that was semi-intriguing, but it's just too much of nothing.
And at the same time, you have Dean Winter's character, who's a grump, who's a jerk to Josh Duhamel's character, who, even though he's not really likable, he's trying to help, legitimately. He's trying to be a nice person. He's trying to help these people. And also, he's constantly breaking, police rules. He's doing, it's that classic idea of, listen, we go above the rules here to get the job done, and what matters is getting the job done.
Yeah.
a lot like Mysteries of Laura in that fact.
But here's my problem overall with the show is that the creative team, this should be a much better fucking show. This shouldn't even be a slight debate or whatever. It's a Vince Gilligan story, right? With David Shore writing, with Bryan Singer directing.
It's a good group.
It's as good as it can get, really. And the fact that this is what you're left with, I forgot about the show. I completely forgot about it.
I remember shitting on it.
I remember hearing about it originally, and then when it came back up, I'm like, God, I don't want to watch
I'm
this.
pretty sure I could find you my notes right now. And they were not
There's
good.
a little thing I want to point out that having all of the other police officers who aren't Dean Winter's character just gush about Josh Duhamel, and to the point like they're drooling idiots when he gives them like little bags for their feet, I thought really hurt their characters.
Which one of the girls is from
Don't Trust the Bee in
Super
Apartment 23.
Fun and Super Fun Night?
She is. I recognize her. I'm like, where is she from? And I looked it up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they can like him and everything, but they don't have to look at him like he's the Messiah.
I grew up in a small town, so this is just like coming home.
You grew up in Michigan?
Monaco, actually, but, same deal.
Well, we are certainly very glad to have you here, so I guess I should introduce you around.
Okay.
Detectives Russ Agnew.
Milt Chamberlain.
And Fontanelle White.
Hello.
Nope.
And these are our two Aarons, Aaron Funkhauser and Aaron Jaycox.
Oh.
Hey, they call me E. Easier to tell us apart that way.
Okay.
I'm Niblet. Welcome aboard.
I'm sorry, Niblet?
Smile for the man. See that? Niblet corn.
It doesn't hurt or nothing.
And this is Holly, our office manager.
Hi, Holly.
You're really good looking. I'm so sorry. That was not very professional.
No.
It's just a little distracting.
It is.
You're a little distracting yourself.
I know, but the idea is them doing that annoys Dean Winters, which makes their relationship more adversarial, but give them characters of their own. Give Niblet his own goddamn character.
I'm sad that I feel like it could have been a much more interesting show had they left out. Or maybe had they just changed Josh Duhamel's role.
Or
I feel like
toned it down a little bit.
Because he basically every time he's there, they try and do things their way, the Battle Creek way, and he basically just comes in and shows every single time that money and resources outweigh, detective skills or actual police work. Mm-hmm. And that makes me sad, because what the fuck is this show saying?
Also, I should say that I really wasn't that interested in the plot. It's a very formulaic plot. They go after drug dealers, in the first episode. It's not anything that we haven't seen a million times on any police drama, probably a million times on CBS alone. It got boring to the point where I was looking at Josh Duhamel shoot at a car that actually had shot Dean Winters' character, and I started to realize that Josh Duhamel in that scene kind of looked like Ty Burrell, and it got me thinking about other celebrities who have rhyming names, and if they look alike, because John McCain and Shirley MacLaine look a bit alike, both old, both have that wrinkly face. Tara Lipinski, John Krasinski. Not a lot of comparison there. Maybe they both have that same nose, but Tara Lipinski's a very good-looking woman. John Krasinski, not that good-looking a woman. You know who does look nearly exactly like?
Who?
Channing Tatum and legendary racehorse Red Rum. Because Channing Tatum, I still hold the man looks like a horse.
He does not have the nicest
He's
face.
centaur, though. Half horse, half man.
Big horse jaw. He looks like if you ask him what floor was, he'd tap his foot. Damn it! Mix that joke up. Hey, speaking of Channing Tatum, he looks like if you were to ask him what 2 + 2 was, he'd tap his foot 4 times. Like a horse would. Alright.
I thought you were going to say what floor was, and he tapped the floor 4 times.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh. And I was like, oh, acceptable joke. But you had to go back and...
That works on 2 levels.
He wanted to... If you asked him what the floor was or where the floor was, and he tapped his foot.
Show's going long. Chris, what was your ranking, or your rating, rather, on Battle Creek?
I also gave this a 2.
Okay.
which I literally wrote, I think I'm being generous, which I think is more than fair, is what I wrote.
I would strongly agree with you.
Yeah.
2.25.
2.25.
2.25.
You like this one, kind of.
Slightly more than
Cristina,
you guys. The real issue with this show is absolutely Josh Duhamel's over the top. They turned him down a little bit, and it wasn't so.
But it is the writing. I mean, it's the situations that they set up, because
I don't know. But
he literally swoops in and fixes everything, and you can't.
But it's the way it's so naive, I think, for a guy who's had field experience as much as he has. Although the other guy, his boss, couldn't be happier for him to leave.
Yeah.
So they do preface that a little bit, but it wasn't enough, because he comes in and it's just like, dude, this is the worst fucking police work I've ever seen. You say you want to do CSI for everything, but then you're gonna be this guy's therapist, and you know, and that last standoff scene was just ridiculous.
Oh God, where he like puts his gun away. And the thing is, that's supposed to make Josh Duhamel a likable character,
but it makes him dumb.
To me, I was like, you idiot, you can talk to him like this, because a lot of shows do that, and still keep your gun out.
Yeah. Or fucking hold it down, you know, point it down at his crotch or something.
That was one of the scenes where by far I was just overwhelmed by how fake both of them seemed. Like, when you saw them literally together in that scene, you're just like, this is the worst. Neither one of you seems even the littlest bit realistic.
I had this at a 1 out of 5. Looking at ratings on this and Secrets and Lies, which I don't think we did. Secrets and Lies, looking at that first, that had a 1.5 rating with a 4 share and 6.06 million viewers. That's not bad in terms of 18 to 49. It actually lost significantly from Once Upon a Time, which was in the hour before, which had a 2.2 rating in 18 to 49. 6.6 million viewers. It's not. It's a start, I guess. You know, this is a miniseries, so they'll probably hold on to it even if it doesn't do that well. Battle Creek premiered at 10 o'clock on Sunday, and that had a 1.0 with a 3 share and 7.92 million viewers. That basically means that the old people that watch CBS watch this.
Yeah, and they'll continue to watch. This will make it the whole season through, which it should with the people that are behind it.
Right.
But the show should have been much better.
Absolutely. Chris, it's time for you to tell us
yes,
all the big happenings over at chrisconquers.com. Or one of the big happenings.
There aren't really.
No.
Lately, I've been so blog lazy. I'm trying to get slightly more active on Instagram. Because for the most part,
you don't get too active or else people take your money and your makeup.
Well, that happens to non-active people. Apparently,
people just take my money all the time.
Because I mostly just post pictures from my blog posts, so I'm trying to take Instagram specific photos, just to give you, you know, a little taste of the background stuff that you don't get to see, doesn't make it to blog posts. I actually have a lot of posts that I have prepped to go up. Right. So
and your what you've been watching in February just went up.
Someone's on the blog.
I just happen to know that.
What I watched in February, what I've been watching is up. My TV favorites.
Did you write about Allegiance in that?
I did.
So you can hear what Chris thought about Allegiance while also finding out that it was canceled.
Yeah, well, this was before I found out.
That's right. So,
but I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, you should actually really give
The
Americans, thank you, a chance, because it's very, very good. It's good, and there are 2 seasons on Amazon.
And
already.
It's Kerry Russell.
I know, but I don't particularly.
And she looks
like Kerry
really
Russell.
good for her. She's held up too. Good for her. ChrisConkers.com.
Yep.
No H in either. And at Crow on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
Speaking of Instagram, the unchallenged Lord and Master of Instagram, Mr. Brayan Cassis.
Far from.
We have who's the is it Jen Selter or Seltzer or Salsa? What is it?
Jen Selter?
Is she the queen of Instagram?
No.
Who's the Instagram?
She's the queen of Belfies, I guess.
She's
but
a fine ass lady.
Literally.
In every
her
regard.
mom.
She's a fine ass.
Her mom is hotter than she is. Legit.
No,
I will pull up a photo right now.
It's in the face. Jen ain't got it.
She looks fine to me. Brian.
Look at the mom.
B911B.com, buddy.
Yes.
Big post going up on there. Your latest photo was a photo of what?
I was just people crossing the street that fucking drive me nuts every time, and trying to go from Penn on 7th, crossing to north side of 34th Street to go to 8th. I know you shouldn't, but I usually stop at I'm very particular. I stop at the Chase ATM at MSG and then go up that way. So I'll just cross 34th because I used to get coffee at 7-Eleven, which is on the north side of 34th Street between 7th and 8th. And it's just a mob of people on 7th Avenue after the trains let out. Because, I mean, it's Penn Station, so you have all the train stops. So I just took a picture of people walking through.
Very cool.
And then there was a couple nice shots from the snowstorm. And that's about it. I'm over 200 followers on Instagram.
Very good. There you go. If you want to be Brian's 200 and...
Well, I went to 211?
212. I was going to guess 212.
Oh my God. Did you just look at it?
I didn't.
And here's the most exciting part.
Interested.
Here's the most exciting part of all.
Yeah.
I only know personally 11 of those 200 followers.
Yeah, and I'm going to unfollow you, so I'm going to make it work even harder.
Well, if someone followed me,
it's not her job. You get yourself over, all right?
I did.
Like
I got
Al does
over.
on every episode of Antennas.
I got 200 more followers.
I told him, I was like, "You're not following my blog. You better not expect."
I don't follow anyone's blog. We discussed.
She doesn't follow anyone's.
Any photo Instagram.
Boom. What are you gonna do? You're done.
I can't even come up with 3 YouTube channels.
That's just sad on you. That's
not really. I just focus my attention on other places.
But you can visit Brian's Instagram page at
B911B photo.
No, B911B photo on Instagram. Slow down here, Brian. I got this. B911B.com is his website where all the photos are on.
Yeah, but you got to fix. The links are messed up because the template got fucked up.
So go there now because it's working. And also you can visit him on Twitter at B911B22.
Which just posting that I posted something on Instagram. So
that's right.
Don't even bother.
All that exciting stuff. Where's this photo of Mrs. Seltzer? Can't really see her face. She's
which I looked her up. No, she does. I looked her up though, and her face.
Man,
it's better that you didn't see the face in that picture.
I'm still looking at Jen Seltzer. I can't lie. It's like
dad ass.
Who's that old lady next to that fine ass lady?
Oh, that was close.
Just hurled Chris's phone across the room, like the madcap that I am.
And when are we gonna plug Al's project?
I have no project as of now.
You can see that the page has been purchased.
That's right.
Oh, you bought a domain?
I did buy a domain. I bought the domain I was talking about last episode.
Good on you.
But Chris has to very quickly tell us where all of you wonderful listeners can tell us what you think of us in no uncertain terms. Chris, where can they do that?
You can tweet us on Twitter at @antenna_heads. You can comment on our posts and in our forum on our website, broadcast.com, our newly reinstated website, broadcast.com.
Started from the bottom, now we're back up here.
Boom, clap, because holy shit, I was chatting online and on the phone, almost on the phone, sending emails voraciously back and forth for like a good 6 hours.
I gotta tell you, Mocha Host, they fixed my problem in like 10 minutes.
They're good.
Nice guys.
Yeah.
Nice guys.
Okay. You can listen to our old episodes, new episodes, and future episodes on the website or on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, iTunes, and now on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and you can thumbs up any of our posts on there. And please rate us in all those places because ratings are nice.
And tell your friends too. Brian.
Al.
Do the closing.
Oh yeah. Thank you. So for Cristina and
looking
Alex,
at your phone over there.
No, I'm just getting ready for the next episode.
All right.
For Cristina and Alex, this is Brian saying thank you for listening to episode 83 of Antennas.